What is going on, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. With the release of the Battlefield 2018 trailer just around the corner, a lot of people in the community are giving out their wish list on what they want the next Battlefield title to be. In this video, I want to partake in that discussion, but focus on the smaller things in the Battlefield game that I think could go a longer way if DICE tweaks them and does something different in the next Battlefield title. Now, what I want to see improved in the next Battlefield game is making the medal system more meaningful. I remember right when Battlefield 1 first launched, seeing the weekly medals you can unlock, thinking this would be pretty cool to do on a weekly basis, but it didn't take long for me to basically give up on the whole system, partially because the mission requirements were pretty much everywhere. But even if the mission requirements were done better, I still wouldn't have gotten too involved with the medal system, just because it is very unmeaningful, and if you feel like you do all this work and it just ends up being stored away in your soldier menu tab, where maybe you can go check back later and see how much of these medals you have accumulated. Accumulating ribbons had the exact same effect, as they went in their own section in your soldier tab menu screen. Now, DICE did a better job with the dog tags, in my opinion, as the moment you die in a game, you're able to see the enemy player's dog tags on your screen. The only problem is with this, though, is it's at the worst time to kind of show this off to anyone in the community, as from my perspective at least, the moment I die, the only thing I'm looking at is how much time I have left to respawn back into the game. So not a very good time for me to kind of sit around and appreciate what someone else has accomplished. So it had me thinking of ways to make these medal systems more meaningful, something that wouldn't just be kind of left on the side back in your soldier tab menu screen where you could check back at later and see what you've accomplished, but something you could show off more into the Battlefield community. Now, I was trying to think of games in the past that kind of had this environment where it wasn't something that was in the main part of the game, where you're on the battlefield and you have a chance to show it off then, as from my perspective at least, the only thing I'm focused on is doing whatever the game mode is. The last thing I'm thinking about is the artistic side of the game, and really more focused on the game mode itself. Now, there were two games that came to mind that had this type of environment that I feel like I could build on, and one of them I did play a good amount, and the two games were Destiny, and the location was the tower, and the other game was COD World War II, and that was headquarters. Now, bear with me, as the only game I really have to show this footage on is Destiny's The Tower, but you'll kind of get the idea from here. So basically, the tower on Destiny was the home screen menu for that game. Instead of you seeing just a home screen where you would select different tabs, you instead would go to different places on this map that would allow you to go into essentially different tabs on your home menu screen. But again, it was just focused on being in a map itself, which allowed players on that server to intermingle with each other. That allowed players to kind of look at each other's customizations for a brief moment. You weren't rushed at all. You didn't feel the need to kill that player right when you saw him, but you could appreciate what that person had accomplished. I strongly feel an environment like this in the next Battlefield game will actually go a really long way. I know that might not be kind of the popular thing people are thinking about. People are more concerned about the era of the next Battlefield game, or maps, or guns, but we already know from EA that the next Battlefield game is going to be visually stunning, in their words, and deeply immersive. So I'm not too concerned that there's not going to be really great stuff in the next Battlefield game. What I am concerned about are the smaller things and making them just really more meaningful. You know, having these medal systems that you just get for one time and it gets pushed away in the back of your menu screen to never be seen again just feels something that should be appreciated more, especially if you have these missions that are all over the place. You know, some of these missions are pretty insane, and it does make the value for these medals go up more by how difficult these missions are. Now, again, don't get me wrong, I still think the missions need to be adjusted, but at the same time, having something there where you can show off to the rest of the Battlefield community, I think is really necessary for the next game. These little missions for these medals ribbons and dog tags that you accumulate in the game need to have an environment where they can be appreciated more, and you yourself can feel that sense of achievement while you walk around promoting these medals in the game. So my idea is to have some type of formal uniform that you can wear, some type of cosmetic item that you can walk around in this tower headquarters area, and you can wear the medals that you have achieved proudly. There can of course be a button that players can press if they get close to another player, where they can inspect that player and see more of the details of how many of the medals they've accumulated, and all the information there. Now obviously in these formal uniforms, normally those are the medals and ribbons that people wear on those. You don't really see the dog tags, but there could be a different attire, a more casual attire where the player can just wear the dog tags instead. I think this opens up a lot of cosmetic opportunities for DICE, who rumored has been how they're going to monetize their next game, wanting to take advantage of the cosmetic arena, and I think this opens up a door for a lot of things that DICE can do here. Having an environment like this doesn't just benefit things like the medal system, it as well branches off to a plethora of other things, such as different areas on the map for you to go to do the customizations at, different areas on the map for you to go and maybe have a shooting range at. We know that just recently came up with the new incursions practice mode that a lot of people in the community felt that was lacking in the base version of the Battlefield game. So having an area for you to go and try out the different guns can be there, and with DICE being a huge Easter egg type of development team, you can imagine all the different things that they can do here with this environment. So there's a lot of other reasons for DICE to have this environment in the game, not just purely so you can walk around and show off what you've accomplished through the medal systems, but as well, I do think the medal systems is a very big part of the next Battlefield game. Having these things to be more meaningful, these things have always fell kind of in between those downtimes when you did get the last DLC out, you played the maps fully, unlocked the weapons, and now you're kind of sitting around what I can do next. And these little things I think go a very, very long way. Of course, this is a very rough idea. Will DICE allow players who rack up loads of medals to display them all over their military uniform, or would DICE want to contain it up a bit and make it more clean cut? I don't really know. I know if I had a say on it, I would allow players to have as much freedom in the customization process as they would like, but at the least I would want to see an environment like this in the next Battlefield game. These type of environments I've missed since the last Destiny game that I played, and just loading into the tower itself, hearing the really mellow music, and just kind of getting the feel to moving your character around. I think it's just overall is a really good environment to bring into the next Battlefield game. Again, I've missed these in the past with the most recent games that I have played, and so I would like to see DICE introduce an environment like this into the next Battlefield game. So feel free to let me know your guys' thoughts down below, how you feel this will improve the medal system, how this could as well improve other aspects of the Battlefield game. Would be curious to hear your guys' opinions down below. Again, I always appreciate you guys being here. My name's Livin, and I'll catch you guys again later. Peace.